Rubik's Cube?
Mere sound, mere feeling.
If you were a kid in 1980s America, some things bring back fond memories.
You really feel the music with the Sony Walkman.
The Sony Walkman is a tiny stereo cassette player with truly incredible sound.
From the bright colors and funky fashion to the catchy tunes on cassette tapes, the 80s had a unique vibe.
Attention shoppers, the new Atari cartridge game is in.
Excuse me.
So join us as we explore if you grew up in the 80s, you remember these things.
It costs less than $500. Put it this way, we're watching a great movie, and you're watching us.
MTV. 1981. Something big hit American TV screens. MTV, or music television. It changed how folks experience music. Before, you'd mostly hear songs on the radio, but MTV brought music to life with videos. It was like having a concert in your living room. Bands got creative, making videos with extraordinary stories or wild dance moves. Suddenly, being a musician wasn't just about making tunes, but also eye-catching videos. MTV has become a place to see what's trendy in fashion and style. People would tune in to catch the latest music video or learn new dance moves.
My MTV.
MTV made stars out of musicians and VJs. It wasn't just about the music, but the whole vibe. Even today, MTV's impact on pop culture can still be felt. It was more than just a TV channel. It was a cultural phenomenon that defined a generation.
My MTV, you want your MTV.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
As the 1980s dawned with MTV revolutionizing music consumption amidst the mesmerizing videos and newfound music culture, did anyone find the perfect rhythm to solve the enigmatic Rubik's Cube? Rubik's Cube. One thing that rocked the 1980s was the Rubik's Cube.
There's never been a puzzle quite like Rubik's Cube, and America may never be the same. The medical journal has written about a unique phenomenon.
It was a cool cube puzzle with different colored squares on each side. The challenge? You had to twist and turn it until each side had one color. Sounds easy, but not so much. It was super tricky, and people worldwide got hooked trying to solve it. The best part was there wasn't just one way to crack it. Everyone had their tricks and methods. Some folks could solve it in seconds, while others spent hours trying to figure it out. It wasn't just a game, it was a craze. People carried them everywhere, trying to solve them on the bus, at school, or during lunch breaks.
Sure, Sir Isaac Newton unraveled the mysteries of gravity, but could he have unraveled the mysteries of Rubik's Cube?
The Rubik's Cube wasn't just a toy, but a symbol of the 80s, bringing together people of all ages and backgrounds in the quest for colorful perfection. Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. To experience unparalleled fun, you needed a Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES.
Be the one to raise the incredibly accurate zapper and play games like Duck Hunt. Will you be the one to experience the Nintendo Entertainment?
It was the ultimate gaming console that brought the magic of video games right into your living room. One of its most famous games was Super Mario Bros., where you played as a plumber named Mario, jumping and stomping on mushrooms and turtles to rescue a princess. It was a blast.
See the latest Nintendo newsletter?
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System.
The NES didn't just have Mario, it had all sorts of games, from adventure to puzzle to racing. Plus, it came with this excellent rectangular controller with buttons, making gaming feel like an adventure. And let's not forget the iconic light gun for shooting ducks and Duck Hunt. It was a portal to endless fun and excitement. Kids would spend hours trying to beat high scores or conquer challenging levels, and sometimes even adults couldn't resist joining in on the action.
The Nintendo Entertainment System, where video technology is more than a game.
The NES revolutionized home entertainment, bringing families together for epic gaming sessions and creating memories that would last a lifetime. It wasn't just a console, but a symbol of joy and adventure in the 80s. You immersed yourself in the adventures of Super Mario Bros. On your Nintendo Entertainment System, conquering levels and chasing high scores. But did you ever imagine taking those gaming thrills with you on the go? Now imagine a device that offers the same level of portability and enjoyment, but for music lovers. The Walkman. In the 1980s, you needed a Walkman to take your tunes wherever you went. This fantastic gadget made by Sony lets you listen to music on cassette tapes while you're out and about. Before the Walkman, if you wanted to listen to music, you had to stay near a radio or carry around a bulky boombox.
Sony introduces the only cassette player as small as a cassette case.
But the Walkman changed all that. It was small and lightweight, with headphones that let you listen to your favorite songs wherever you went. Walking to school, riding the bus, or even hanging out with friends, the Walkman provides the soundtrack to your life.
Put on a Walkman and see the world in a whole new light.
Sony Walkman.
The Walkman from Sony, the one and only.
People could listen to whatever they wanted, wherever they wanted, without being tied down to a specific place. The Walkman became a must-have accessory for anyone who loved music and paved the way for portable music players like the iPod and smartphones. Cabbage Patch Kids. There was this massive craze for Cabbage Patch Kids. They were these adorable dolls with round faces, chubby cheeks, and soft bodies. Each one was unique with its own name and birth certificate.
This is what all the fuss is about. Why are full-grown adults fighting over these? Well, here's one reason.
I want to get it.
People went crazy trying to get their hands on them, lining up for hours at stores or even paying the big bucks just to get one.
Good parents make Cabbage Patch Kids.
The Cabbage Patch Kids. Each doll is different, and you can pretend to adopt.
It wasn't just about having a doll, but the excitement of collecting and trading them with friends. Some kids even treated them like real babies, dressing them up and taking them everywhere.
Probably a little ridiculous, but it's the only thing my daughter asked for. She's 9 years old, so Mommy breaks her neck.
The popularity of Cabbage Patch Kids sparked a frenzy with merchandise like clothes, accessories, and even a cartoon show. They weren't just toys, but a cultural phenomenon that captured the hearts of kids and adults alike. Even today, people look back on Cabbage Patch Kids with fond memories, remembering the joy and excitement they brought during the vibrant 80s. Leg warmers. Leg warmers were all the rage in the 1980s thanks to the aerobics craze in movies like Flashdance. They were these long, stretchy tubes of fabric that you wore around your legs, usually scrunched near your ankles. People would rock them with everything from workout gear to miniskirts, adding color and style to their outfits.
Leg warmers. It's a look that's all yours. Available in 7 luscious colors.
Leg warmers weren't just a fashion statement, they were practical too, keeping your legs warm during chilly workouts or dance rehearsals. Leg warmers were essential accessories, whether hitting the gym or hanging out with friends. Leg warmers became synonymous with the energetic and vibrant spirit of the 80s, showcasing a blend of fitness and fashion that defined the era. Even today, leg warmers bring back memories of neon colors, big hair, and catchy tunes, reminding us of a time when anything seemed possible and fashion was all about having fun. But how did the scrunchy leg warmers of the era hold up against the gravity-defying hairstyles that dominated the scene, like those iconic big hairdos sported by Madonna and Bon Jovi? Big hair. One thing that defined the 80s in the USA was big hair. It was all about volume and height. People, especially women, rocked hairstyles that were larger than life. Picture hair teased to perfection, reaching for the sky like a fluffy cloud.
You need this Afro Sheen hairspray to give your hair sparkle.
That smells nice too.
Achieving this look often required gallons of hairspray and a teasing comb. The result? Hair that could withstand the wind, rain, and maybe even a hurricane. Big hair wasn't just a style, it was a statement. It said, "I'm bold, confident, and ready to conquer the world." Celebrities like Madonna and Bon Jovi were famous for their gravity-defying hairdos, inspiring countless imitators nationwide. Whether you were going to a party, hitting the mall, or just hanging out with friends, big hair was a must. It wasn't always easy to maintain. Constant teasing and spraying took time and effort, but the result was worth it. Big hair was a symbol of the 80s, capturing the exuberance and extravagance of the era. Teen movies. Teen movies were all the rage and still hold a special place in our hearts today. Films like The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Back to the Future captured the essence of being a teenager in that era.
And one for you, McFly. I believe that makes 4 in a row. Now let me give you Nickels' worth of free advice, young man.
The Breakfast Club showed the highs and lows of high school life, bringing together diverse students who formed unlikely friendships during detention.
I'm doing society a favor. So? That's another one right now. I've got you for the rest of your natural-born life if you don't watch your step. You want another one?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off was all about seizing the day and having epic adventures, while Back to the Future took us on a wild ride through time with Marty McFly and Doc Brown. These movies spoke to a generation, addressing friendship, rebellion, and self-discovery themes. With their memorable characters, quotable lines, and killer soundtracks, these films became classics, shaping how we view the 80s and reminding us of the magic of youth.
You don't want to talk about your problem?
With you, are you serious?
I'm serious.
But amidst the drama and laughter of The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, did these iconic films inspire the same camaraderie and thrill in the arcade game world? Arcade games. Arcade games were the bomb. You'd find these extraordinary places called arcades, packed with rows of arcade machines, each beckoning with flashy lights and inviting sounds.
Show Mommy how you play. Go.
Games like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Space Invaders were the show's stars. Pac-Man had you munching dots while avoiding pesky ghosts. Donkey Kong had you climbing platforms to rescue a damsel in distress, and Space Invaders had you defending Earth from an alien invasion. You'd spend hours trying to beat your high score or watching in awe as someone else dominated the game. Arcades were more than just places to play games. They were hubs of social interaction and friendly competition. Transformers. If you were a kid in the 80s, chances are you were obsessed with Transformers.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the
These fabulous toys were more than action figures. They were disguised robots. Each Transformer could change shape, going from a vehicle like a car or a truck to a mighty robot warrior with just a few twists and turns. It was like having two toys in one.
Attack the Autobot Commander! Call in an Decepticon leader! Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
The Transformers weren't just cool toys, but also the stars of a popular animated series. The show followed the epic battle between the heroic Autobots, led by Optimus Prime, and the evil Decepticons, led by Megatron. Every episode was packed with action, adventure, and many robot battles.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers, robots in the sky.
Kids everywhere would rush home from school to catch the latest episode, eagerly awaiting the next thrilling showdown. The Transformers franchise wasn't just about toys and cartoons. It was a cultural phenomenon that swept the nation. It spawned comic books, video games, and even a blockbuster movie franchise. The appeal of the Transformers lay in their ability to spark the imagination. Whether you were pretending to be a fearless Autobot or a sinister Decepticon, playing with Transformers allowed you to become part of an epic sci-fi adventure. The Cold War. Growing up in the 80s, we couldn't escape the looming shadow of the Cold War. It was this intense standoff between the USA and the Soviet Union, with both sides armed to the teeth with nuclear weapons. The fear of a nuclear war was always there, lurking in the background. We saw it in movies, heard about it on the news, and even learned about it in school. However, one event that stood out was the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. It was this iconic moment when the barrier that divided East and West Germany came crashing down, symbolizing the end of the Cold War era. People celebrated in the streets, tearing down the wall piece by piece. It was a powerful reminder that hope and unity could prevail even in the face of great adversity. The Cold War may have been a dark chapter in history, but moments like the fall of the Berlin Wall showed us that change was possible and that peace was worth fighting for. As the world grappled with the tension of the Cold War of the 80s, a momentous event signaled a shift towards unity and hope, the fall of the Berlin Wall. But amidst this historical backdrop, another phenomenon emerged, captivating millions worldwide. How did Michael Jackson's Thriller redefine music and culture during this era of uncertainty and change? Michael Jackson's Thriller. In the 80s, one name stood out in music: Michael Jackson. His album Thriller was a game changer. It wasn't just a collection of songs, but a cultural phenomenon. Thriller had hit after hit, from the infectious beats of Billie Jean to the electrifying title track, Thriller. But what set it apart was the music video. The Thriller music video was unlike anything we'd ever seen. It was more than just a video, it was a mini-movie, complete with zombies, werewolves, and a killer dance routine. Michael Jackson's moves were out of this world, and the special effects were mind-blowing. It was like watching a Hollywood blockbuster in miniature form. The Thriller video became an instant classic, and everyone seemed to be talking about it. People would gather around their TVs whenever it came on, eager to glimpse Michael's mesmerizing performance. It wasn't just a music video, it was an event. Thriller catapulted Michael Jackson to superstardom, cementing his status as the king of pop. The album broke records, won awards, and influenced countless artists. Even decades later, Thriller remains one of the best-selling albums ever. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. One movie that captured the hearts of audiences across the USA was E.T. the Extraterrestrial. It wasn't just a sci-fi film, but a heartwarming tale of friendship and adventure.
Oh, God! Elliot. What?
The story follows a young boy named Elliot who befriends a gentle alien stranded on Earth. Together they embark on a journey to help E.T. return home while evading government agents who want to capture him.
Home? You're right. That's E.T.'s home.
E.T. struck a chord with audiences of all ages, tapping into friendship, loyalty, and acceptance themes. The bond between Elliot and E.T. was so powerful that it left a lasting impression on viewers long after the credits rolled.
B. You said B. Good.
And banjo.
B.
The movie became a cultural phenomenon, spawning merchandise, references in popular culture, and even a ride at Universal Studios. It was more than just a film. It was a shared experience that brought people together and reminded us of the magic of storytelling. AIDS crisis. In the 1980s, the AIDS crisis emerged as a significant public health issue in the USA. AIDS, or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a severe condition caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, that weakens the immune system, making individuals susceptible to infections and other illnesses. During this time, the AIDS epidemic sparked widespread fear and uncertainty. Misinformation and stigma surrounded the disease, leading to discrimination against those affected. The lack of understanding about HIV and AIDS fueled misconceptions and prejudices, hindering efforts to address the crisis effectively. The emergence of the AIDS crisis prompted urgent action from public health officials, researchers, and advocacy groups. Awareness campaigns aimed to educate the public about HIV transmission and prevention methods. The AIDS crisis of the 1980s not only had a profound impact on public health, but also sparked a movement for greater awareness, advocacy, and support for those affected by the disease. Yet amidst this turmoil, another revolution quietly unfolded. How did the advent of personal computers in American households shape individual lives and broader societal landscapes during this tumultuous era of change? Personal computers. Personal computers revolutionized the way we lived and worked in the USA. Machines like the Apple II and IBM PC brought computing power into our homes. Suddenly, tasks that once seemed impossible became achievable with just a few clicks of a mouse. With its colorful graphics and user-friendly interface, the Apple II was a game changer. It made computing accessible to everyday people, not just tech enthusiasts. Families used it for everything from playing games to managing finances to writing school reports. Similarly, with its robust hardware and compatibility with business software, the IBM PC became a staple in offices and homes. It paved the way for the modern business computer, empowering individuals and organizations to streamline operations and boost productivity. The rise of personal computers in the 80s marked a turning point in history, democratizing access to technology and laying the groundwork for the digital age we live in today. New wave music. New wave music emerged as a defining sound of the era in the USA. Bands like Duran Duran, Depeche Mode, and The Cure captivated audiences with their unique blend of synthesizers, catchy melodies, and edgy lyrics. Duran Duran brought a sense of glamour and style to the music scene with their infectious pop tunes and iconic music videos. Hits like Hungry Like the Wolf and Rio became anthems of the decade, dominating the airwaves and dance floors. Depeche Mode pushed the boundaries of electronic music, crafting dark and brooding songs that resonated with listeners. Their albums like Violator and Music for the Masses showcased their talent for blending electronic beats with passionate lyrics. Meanwhile, The Cure's moody and atmospheric sound captivated fans with introspective lyrics and haunting melodies. Songs like Just Like Heaven and Friday I'm in Love became classics, defining the emotional landscape of the 1980s. Trapper Keepers. Trapper Keepers were a must-have for kids growing up in the 1980s USA. These colorful binders weren't just practical, but a statement of style.
I figure there are basically two kinds of people. Those who can't get it together, and those who can.
Trapper Keepers' sturdy construction and multiple pockets were perfect for organizing papers, pens, and pencils. Plus, they have various designs and colors, from bright neon to astonishing patterns, which allow kids to show off their personalities at school.
So they don't fall out. I've got a trapper for every subject, and the Trapper Keeper holds them all with this Velcro closure and tough new Duracell construction.
One of the most remarkable features of Trapper Keepers was their Velcro closure, which made it easy to open and close without worrying about papers falling out. It was like having a mini briefcase for your schoolwork.
Whirlwind of paper. Well, that's why I got him the all-new Me Trapper Keeper. These really cool trapper folders let you organize your work.
Trapper Keepers became such a staple of school life that they even appeared in movies and TV shows, symbolizing childhood nostalgia for many adults today. Despite advances in technology, the simple yet practical design of Trapper Keepers continues to hold a special place in the hearts of those who grew up in the 1980s. Greed is good. The motto, "Greed is good," from the movie Wall Street captured the era's spirit. It reflected a time when wealth and success were celebrated and pursued fervently. The character Gordon Gekko, played by Michael Douglas, famously uttered these words, embodying the decade's ruthless ambition and financial excesses.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
The 1980s saw a booming economy and the rise of Wall Street as a symbol of power and influence. Corporate raiders and high-flying financiers became icons of success, while materialism and consumerism were rampant. However, the mantra, "Greed is good," also symbolized the decade's darker side.
Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence.
Characterized by corporate greed, corruption, and the widening gap between the rich and the poor. It sparked debates about the ethics of capitalism and the consequences of pursuing wealth at any cost. Ultimately, "Greed is good" became a defining slogan of the 1980s, reflecting both the aspirations and the pitfalls of a decade obsessed with money and success. The 1980s celebrated the ethos of greed is good, fostering a culture of ambition and excess. But did the innocence and joy of Saturday morning cartoons offer a necessary escape or merely perpetuate the consumerist narrative? Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons were a cherished part of growing up in the 1980s USA. Kids eagerly woke up to catch their favorite animated shows such as He-Man, Thundercats, and the Smurfs. These cartoons transported viewers to fantastical worlds filled with heroes, villains, and magical creatures.
First chance I get, I'm trading you in for a broom.
He-Man followed the adventures of Prince Adam, who transformed into the mighty He-Man to defend the kingdom of Eternia from the evil Skeletor. Thundercats introduced viewers to the heroic feline warriors who battled the forces of evil on Third Earth. And who could forget the Smurfs, the lovable blue creatures who lived in mushroom-shaped houses and outsmarted the bumbling villain Gargamel. Saturday morning cartoons weren't just about entertainment. They also taught valuable lessons about friendship, courage, and teamwork. Whether it was rooting for the good guys to triumph or laughing at the characters' antics, watching these shows was a week's highlight for many kids. Reaganomics. Reaganomics was the buzzword in the USA, referring to President Ronald Reagan's economic policies. Reagan believed in reducing government intervention in the economy and empowering individuals and businesses to thrive. His approach centered on three main principles: tax cuts, deregulation, and reducing government spending.
But I've always liked George Orwell's blunt and unadorned statement. He said freedom is the right to say no.
One key aspect of Reaganomics was tax cuts, particularly for businesses and high-income individuals. Reagan believed lower taxes would stimulate economic growth by encouraging investment and entrepreneurship. Reaganomics significantly impacted the economy, leading to sustained economic growth known as the Reagan boom. However, it also sparked debates about income inequality and the role of government in ensuring social welfare. Regardless of one's perspective, Reaganomics remains a defining feature of the economic landscape of the 1980s.